Hey, hot girl, what's up? Look like I'm about to fight somebody. Hey, hot girl, what's up? Hey, how you doing, you guys? My name is Margaret Angèl. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. On this channel today, we are going to be talking about Miss Rachel Hollis. Now, for those of you that do not know, Rachel Hollis, she's a best-selling author, she's a motivational speaker, and she is the Senate Majority Hunbot. So she has her hand in a lot of bags, okay? The woman, she does well. She does well, and in my opinion, not for the right reasons. So let me backtrack a bit. So in a previous video that I filmed months ago, I was giving my unpopular opinions, and I said, you know, Rachel Hollis is someone that I actually like because I only really knew her as an author. I didn't know about anything else, I have to be honest. So when I started hearing about all these other controversies, I was like, maybe I need to step back and recant what I said, but I'm gonna give it some time, experience it for myself, and see if I feel the same way everyone else does. And then I came across this TikTok. I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw it, I was so angry, I didn't know what to do because it was like International Women's Day and I just felt like it was just in such poor taste. And the video was just continuously going viral and I'm like,
is she gonna say something?
Like, is she going to do anything about this? So before I jump into my actual critiques, let's look at this video together.
Sweet woman who comes to my house twice a week and cleans. She's my house cleaner. She cleans the toilets. Someone commented and said, "You are privileged AF."
It is a privilege to have someone come over to your house and clean for you. So that is 100% true. Even if that was in poor taste, that is actually a factual statement. Having someone be able to clean your house, not everyone has that luxury.
I'm super freaking privileged, but also I worked my ass off to have the money to have someone come twice a week and clean my toilets. And I told her that, and then she said, "Well, you're unrelatable." What is it about me that made you think I want to be relatable?
That passive aggression, like, can we just talk about that for a minute? That passive aggression when she's like, what makes you think that I, the mighty Rachel Hollis, wanted to be relatable to you, a commoner? That's literally what that is giving, 100%.
I want to be relatable. No, sis, literally.
The sis? I'm gonna leave a link down below why certain people probably shouldn't be saying it like that.
Literally everything I do in my life is to live a life that most people can't relate to. Most people won't work this hard. Most people won't get up at 4 a.m. Most people won't fail publicly again and again just to reach the top of the mountain. Literally every woman I admire in history was unrelatable. If my life is relatable to most people, I'm doing it wrong.
Shit. What do you think about that? If my life is relatable to most people, then I'm doing it wrong. That pretty much debunks all the help that you've given people, because you're saying I don't live my life to relate to people. Then why do you do these conferences trying to connect with women, trying to connect with multi-level marketers? If you want to be so untouchable and so unrelatable, then why dwell with people that you think that you're above? Are you saying that you use that as a pseudo effect to your advantage, trying to make it look like you're relatable, but you're actually fake? Is that it, Rachel? Like, I'm genuinely confused. But let's continue. See, that's not the bad part. That's actually not the bad part. I wish it was just that video, but the caption.
Oh my God.
The caption. Harriet Tubman, RBG, Marie Curie, Oprah Winfrey, Amelia Earhart, Frida Kahlo, Malala Yousafzai, Wu Zaitin. Happy Women's History Month. Rachel, I don't know what made you think that you're plagiarizing overly indulgent, self-righteous ass have the right to compare yourself to Harriet Tubman. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Because she did issue out apologies, we're gonna get into that later. Let's talk about the comparison to Harriet Tubman. Let's go to school for a minute, guys. So Harriet Tubman is an incredible figure, especially for Black Americans. So for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure is not gonna be a lot of you, but for those of you that don't know, she was a slave that founded the Underground Railroad system. So the Underground Railroad system was basically when it would be at the wee hours of the night where Harriet Tubman would move slaves through the system of safe houses so that way they can achieve freedom. I think it was around 70 or so slaves that she was able to free, but yes, Harriet Tubman was one of the first big Black activists that put herself on the line to try to achieve freedom for slaves. Slaves that were beaten, slaves that were forced to work, slaves that obviously never got paid, slaves that were called the to their face. This is what that woman endured. And you want to tell me that a privileged, rich, white woman like you is comparable to Harriet Tubman? If you're not infuriated, you need to be. If you're not disgusted, you need to be. She compared herself to Malala, which if you don't know, she got shot in the head. She's comparing herself. A woman that constantly plagiarizes. A woman that blames her team whenever she does something wrong. A woman that does not know anything about personal accountability, but yet wants to write about self-help.
Didn't see that coming.
A woman that blocks people when she gets called out for doing the wrong thing. Can't wait for mine. Yeah, you are privileged. You are 100% privileged. You're privileged out of your ass and you don't even realize it. How dare you? Women empowerment is not about who you can step over. Women empowerment is about uplifting everybody. Not saying, oh yeah, the woman that cleans my toilets, yeah, I'm able to have her because I have so much money and I'm so privileged and I don't want to relate to anybody else. How do you think the woman that cleans your toilets feels about you saying that? I always say, women, we need to do better. We need to empower each other. We need to uplift each other. That's why with me, one thing I don't do, I never go on anything that has anything to do about me. I don't read anything about me. I don't read any Reddit threads, nothing like that. Where I see people putting me down, because I know for me, I want to keep people up. And downgrading your staff is not what's going to level you up. Holding yourself accountable, Rachel, is what boosts you. When you hold yourself accountable, people have respect for you. You don't throw your team in the fire because of what you said. You said those things. You're the one that said that most people aren't going to work as hard as me. I would assume the average American works hard, probably works check to check. She said most people are not going to get up at 4 a.m. every day and bust their ass. That's very interesting. My grandma, who's no longer here anymore, 2 a.m. she would get up. 2 a.m. she would get up. I live down south, and where I live, seafood is a huge market. So at 2 a.m. she would get up. She'd work from 2 to 5, and all she would do was peel shrimp. Peel shrimp. My grandma made $10 a day. $10 a day and had kids to feed. But Rachel, please tell me again how you get up at 4 a.m. and you have your luxury of your team and all of your millions. I'm very interested. So let's get into these bullshit apologies. So she kept the video up for 4 days after the initial call out because she blamed her team. I didn't respond to things on Friday when I heard people were upset. She heard people were upset, but yet everyone's actively commenting. You didn't hear, you saw it. Come on. I listened to my team instead of my gut. If I was on her team, I would immediately resign. There's no way that my leader is gonna throw me under the bus for what she verbally said, for what she typed out. It is not up to them to hold you accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable. This is why cancel culture exists. I don't always agree with it, but things like this, I can understand why somebody will be taken off of their pedestal for saying something like that. It is not your team's fault because you decided to be a privileged and put that out there. That's not on them. I listened when they told me not to respond, to let it blow over. So here we have a profound lack of self-awareness. So people are upset with you. And I understand why PR is there. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. But I can't think of a single decent PR agent that would actually let something like that ride. Because the more you let it linger, the more it's gonna permeate. You handle as soon as it happens. Someone as smart as you should probably know that. Or maybe she wouldn't because it wasn't written down by somebody else. I don't know. So that was the first apology. Was that a good one, class? Yeah, I know. So here's a second one. So now we're going to hopefully get it together. She says, I'm not going to do this perfectly, but I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm so deeply sorry for the things I said in my recent posts and the hurt I have caused in the last few days. I know I've caused tremendous pain in mentioning prominent women, including several women of color, whose struggles and achievements I can't possibly understand. Right, you can't. By talking about my own success, I diminished the struggles and hard work of many people who work tirelessly every day. I disregarded the people whose hard work doesn't afford them their financial security, often due to inherently racist and biased systems. I did not allow a space for people to voice their anger, hurt, and disappointment, which caused even more pain. I acknowledge my privilege and the advantage I have as a white woman, no matter how I grew up. There are many things I would like to say to reiterate just how sorry I am, but the important thing for me to do now, something I should have already done, is honestly be quiet and listen. I know I have disappointed so many people, myself included, and I take full accountability. I'm so sorry. Well, your silence in the beginning is actually what caused you to make this second apology. So I don't think being quiet, Rachel, was the answer. Here's the thing. I believe that everyone has the right to apologize, and it's up to people whether they want to accept it or not. Now, when I was going through the comments, I have to be honest, there was a lot of women that weren't of color that was saying she didn't do anything wrong. I mean this as real as I can, and I'm not even going to say respectful. I mean real. Do not accept apologies where you don't even know how it feels to be marginalized in this kind of system. Do not accept apologies that were not meant for you. You can look and be like, you know what? That seems admirable that she said that, but that's not for me to accept. That's the way you would approach that. Don't be like, oh, Rachel, you didn't do anything wrong. No, people are just sensitive. They're overreacting. Stop calling people sensitive when they're passionate. That's what a lot of people need to stop doing. Stop calling people sensitive when they're passionate. What she did was wrong, and she needed to own up to it. That second apology, whole lot better than the first one, because the first one, a whole team should have evacuated the premises because she threw everybody under the bus. And I think when that fire really lit under her ass, she really saw how bad this was, and then she came out and she said something correctly. I think there was a PR involved in that, but that's my own conspiracy. I can't confirm that. But one thing I do want to say is that as someone of color who has struggled a lot in this world, seeing that was very disheartening. Talking about the TikTok, seeing that was very disheartening because I've been looked down upon so much in my life. I mean, that's a whole big reason why I didn't want to start YouTube, because I didn't want people to put me down just because of what they see, not because they didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? So when I see someone like this and so much privilege and so much power, and a lot of that, to be honest, I don't think is well deserved, especially when I learned about everything that has been done in the past, like the plagiarizing and the blocking creators that called her out. She needs to take accountability for a lot of stuff, if you catch my drift. But even with that, I think everybody has the right to grow. I think everybody has the right to change. And I don't think anyone deserves any permanent disdain on their name. I don't believe that. It's how you do it. It's how you approach it. The first time when she saw those comments, she should have shut it down. The first time when she saw all that and be like, oh no, this isn't right. I'm disappointed in you. I bought your books. How could you say this? You make me feel this big. When you see that, Rachel, that's when you shut it down. You don't wait for your team to tell you to blow it over and then blame them, because they don't know. Rachel, how many people on your team are people of color? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Rachel, how many times have you been called out for plagiarism, and what was your response other than blocking creators and calling people haters? What was your response? There's levels to this. There's levels to this. So I'm happy that she was called out, because she deserved it 100%, because you posted that publicly and you hurt people publicly, including me, somebody that actually has vouched for you a lot, someone that was a consumer of your books and really did attribute a lot of my personal mental welfare to reading what you wrote. I felt a relatability to you. I felt a relatability to you. And then that's what you go on and you post. That is such a huge slap in the face to people that have read your books and related to you, to people that have gone to your conferences and listened to you, to people that have stand up and gave you standing ovations. You don't want to be relatable. You want the coin and you want to cash out. You dug yourself this hole and you have only yourself to blame for that. I'm just really disappointed. I really am. But I love you guys very much. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of all this. Did you think that she was out of the box? Did you not expect it to get this big? Like, what was your thoughts on this? Because in the beginning, I didn't want to make this video, but the more that I look at it, the more I just continuously get upset. So let me know in the comments down below, you guys. And as always, I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.